Welcome to part 2 of episode 3.
I feel like this point is something that I shouldn't talk on because I want to get very angry and upset. But Jetro, I'll let you start with this one. But it's the current state of GTA Online and if GTA 6 will become the same.
Okay, so I thought of this idea because I recently went back and played, I used to play a lot of GTA Online and from 2013 to 2017, basically played it every day. And I went back recently after not playing for a long time. And it's just not the same. Do you guys know who Dark Space is? I'm sure you guys know who.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He made an amazing video about kind of exactly what we're talking about, the current state of online. And one of the things that he mentions is that when you started in GTA Online, the whole point was that you were supposed to be a small-time criminal. Everyday citywide crime, nothing too crazy. 6 years down the line and we're saving the world from a doomsday event. Right? So
that's right.
GTA Online to me just doesn't feel very GTA-like.
It's not grounded.
It feels like the Fast and Furious franchise.
Exactly.
It actually does. Yeah,
when I was making notes for that part of the video, I literally said, and to all the people who play Call of Duty, they'll know what I mean, but I want a boots-on-the-ground GTA.
Yeah, of course.
Call of Duty became all about the jetpacks and wall running and whatnot, and it kind of feels like GTA has gone down that same route, where there is a constant power curve of just all of the oppressors now in the game. So now we need a vehicle that can withstand 19 rockets so it doesn't die immediately.
Have you ever been to the UK? It's exactly like that. Living in the UK is exactly that.
Got guys running around with machetes and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my days.
But yeah, no, I'm exactly with you on that point where I feel like this applies not just to the vehicles and stuff, it also applies to the financial ecosystem in the game, where because it's gone on for so long and they've had to inflate things. So for example, vehicles have got really expensive. They've introduced things like Mark II oppressor, but at the same time, because of the introduction of these things, they have to introduce countermeasures. So the countermeasure for expensive items is making money cost more money in the game. Real money costs more to buy in-game currency, but at the same time, you also have to spend more money to defend yourself against the people that have Mark II oppressors.
Yeah, that's right.
They try to differentiate their gameplay by adding these new and unique vehicles, but I feel like, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like they've done it because the map is, for all intents and purposes, with barely any interiors and stuff, it's a relatively boring map. Where I feel like with GTA 6, because they're going to be fundamentally building the GTA 6 map to work for GTA Online 2, the next version of GTA Online. So we're going to have things, more places where we can spend money. So we're not going to have as much emphasis on the vehicles for enjoyment. Maybe we'll have some big, nice boats. Oof. But maybe the actual emphasis is going to be cool. There's going to be more places to spend money. Maybe they'll reset the financial market so a car doesn't cost 20 million in-game dollars. Maybe they'll reset the whole economy, but also, for example, maybe we can go and play darts, bowling, go to clubs in the game, go to do different online activities with our friends, because that's the thing as well. GTA Online used to be a place where you and your mates would just talk online and do a very simple task, for example, GTA 4, playing pool in GTA 4 was
exactly
all my mates used to do when GTA 4 came out. And now it's got more to the point of where everything's being gamified, strategized. I don't need a really complex heist to have fun. I just need some really cool objectives and things to do and see in the game, and over time expand upon that. The be-all and end-all for GTA Online shouldn't be how much damage your vehicle can do to the opponent. It should be how many cool things can you do with your mates and with your community in a 2-hour session.
That's right. Yeah, and I think the thing is, and to your point as well, when GTA Online came out in 2013, it was literally similar to GTA 4's multiplayer where you just muck around with your mates or whatever. And then as soon as all the updates came out, I think 2014-15 was okay, but once I feel the Doomsday heist came out with the jetpacks and all that, it just became so unrealistic. And also, I think with 6, I think the approach that they should have is, like you said, is probably just more so focusing on those cool little mini games or whatever. I think is great, because I think the thing is now with online, it's much more of a to grind it out, to get money or whatever, which obviously is important, is good, but I think sort of the fun element has been taken out much more so now than it has been when it first launched. That's from my perspective anyways, because I mean, when I'm playing it, it's obviously, I gotta do the next slice to get more money. It's like, where's the fun? Like, what about just mucking around with your mates or whatever? Or
you get money to set up for another heist to get more money to buy the same bad vehicles.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And there isn't
the content loop.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic business practice on behalf of Rockstar and Take-Two. Like, clearly it is working because people are using it. If it was genuinely really bad and it wasn't working, no one would be using it. But I feel like they're missing out on a core audience, which is people that actually want to use GTA Online as their social space to interact with their friends. In like 2013, 14, 15 and 16 in particular, that's what GTA Online was. It was just a place for you, like, after work, after school, whatever it might be, to go online and just mess around with your mates. That was the core function of why we loved it. But that's kind of been stripped away to, if you start, I mean, people have done it, loads of channels have done it. They've started GTA Online from scratch. It's not really fun. I mean, it's maybe fun for us because we make content out of it, but for the core individual that just wants to go there, socialize, maybe make some new friends, it's now not the place for it. Whereas I've still got friends now that I met in GTA Online 10 years ago. It's now not a place where you can meet new people and socialize.
No, not at all. It's kind of disappointing in that fact because, like we said, you're just kind of put into a content loop. Like, even starting out today, for any new players that are maybe coming into GTA Online with GTA 6 coming out soon, they're trying to get into the hype. You literally play the game to make money so that you can spend money to make money easier. And it's just, it's a concept. That's right. There's no, unless you don't care at all about making money and all you're doing is missions or races or stuff like that, like, there isn't a ton of fun to be had with GTA Online because you need like it's like real life. You need money in order to have fun in GTA Online. You do. But if you don't grind to get that money, you either have to pay for it or just spend a bunch of hours making it, right? So especially now though with online, like if you come in as a level 1, like it's game over.
Stuff.
It's game
like, you know what I mean? That's game over. Yeah, you're screwed.
But that's the thing. A lot of people are asking me whenever I do live streams, like, go online, and I'm like, no, because it's like there isn't good. I can't make interesting content out of it. I'm gonna have to spend. Because it's been so long since I was engaged with the online community as well. I'm gonna have to learn how online works again. Because it's not the same. Right. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really contextually understand where we're coming from this as well. Because especially as a lot of our viewers here are going to be younger, and a lot of people were introduced to GTA 5 during the pandemic when Epic Games did the giveaway. But the best way to describe what online used to be was there was nothing to do, so you had to make your own fun, which sounds awful, but it's not. Like, you and your mates would literally line up and try and do a jump together or try and crash your cars into each other, and the person that dies loses. And like, or you could do races, like that
long haul too.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, the fundamentals of where the fun were at. But I think that's because mentally back then, because already for its time that was advanced, like the way that it was approached, I feel like we were okay with it back then. I think if we went back to it now, it would be awful, maybe.
Yeah, true. But one thing that you did mention is that there is kind of a silver lining, and it's that when GTA 5 was being made, Rockstar had no idea what they were going to do with online. Like, I'm pretty sure they've said in interviews that they never intended for GTA Online to be like a permanent thing. Like, they kind of just wanted it as something for their fans to do, kind of like it was in GTA 4 if they got bored. Obviously, going into GTA 6, they are thinking probably mostly about GTA Online, if I'm being completely
100%.
honest.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Can't say that.
For sure.
I did a video saying that they're going to focus on GTA Online, and I got bullied.
Oh, no way. Okay. My belief is that they will probably focus harder on online than single player.
Okay.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's what makes them their money, right? Like, the game sales are nothing compared to what they to what they make from shark cards. So they'll definitely be thinking about that.
Yeah. And the thing is with that as well is like they didn't know when GTA 5 came out that GTA Online was going to be the success it has become now.
Exactly.
So and you remember when they had we brought this up on past podcasts as well, that there was meant to be planned DLC that was meant to come out for single player back in 2014. That got scrapped for online because it was just doing so well. It was just making them more money.
Yeah,
it was just making them more money. They're, like you said, they're a business at the end of the day. They're owned by Take-Two. They need to make money. So that's how it is.
Yep. And I think that's the thing as well. It's like there's two things that we can do as a community. We can obviously hold Rockstar accountable and say we'd like to see these features, and we can email Rockstar. We can make videos about stuff that we'd like to see in online. But at the end of the day, people vote with their wallets, and if people are buying shark cards to buy a Mark II oppressor, Rockstar will put that in the game because that's what's selling. And the same can be dumbed down to us on a YouTube level. If we can see a certain sort of content's getting a lot more views, we're not going to continue making any sorts of videos that don't get views because it doesn't make business sense. All the issues I have with Rockstar focusing on the way that they've done online, I have to self-reflect and go, actually, I can't be angry because whatever they have done has made them this money so they can make GTA 6.
So they can fund it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Something else I want to say as well, and I actually want to cover this in a separate video, but Rockstar spends, including all of Rockstar's offices, properties, taxes, and salary, they spend about $750 million a year on expenses. If they just off the sales of GTA 5, and if they didn't do anything else, if we count for the sales of if we count for the sales of Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, and they didn't do anything with they'd be bankrupt 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So realistically, GTA 5 saved them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the end of the deal.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of people will say no because they would have released GTA 6 earlier, and maybe they would have. But it would have been a GTA 6 that cost them $500 million to make, not a GTA 6 that could potentially cost them up to $2 billion to make. And with more resources, with more staff, with more things to spend money on, it gives them the ability to make the game as good as it can be. And, I get myself into quite heated debates with people, but I don't think to this day Rockstar have delivered a bad game. They've delivered games that aren't as good as other games, but they've never done as dirty as an audience, apart from not releasing those DLCs. But once again, they had a reason to.
Comparatively, when you think of the launch of No Man's Sky, or Cyberpunk 2077, right? They've never done us that dirty. I'll give them that. They've never done us that dirty.
No, I think the only time Rockstar have been a bit contentious with their behavior is when it came to the modding community, because they go through waves of they'll have 3 years of supporting the modding community, then as soon as Take-Two say, actually, we want to monetize that mod, then they'll start getting the modding community in trouble, and it goes in waves to the point now where obviously they bought CFX.re and they're buying into the whole modding thing, but then once again, that's done damage to other third-party modding communities. So this is probably a topic for another podcast, but I'm very interested to see how the attitude towards the modding community, and especially the PC community, because the PC community is bigger now than it's ever been in history. PC players now make up 48% of the market.
Yeah. I feel bad for them.
Jump.
I feel bad for them. I mean, it's pretty much confirmed that PC won't be here day one. I think everyone knows that by this point. So I feel so bad for them. I've already decided I'm going to buy a console for when GTA 6 comes out because I can't wait another year.
Yeah.
But for the people that aren't, good luck not getting spoiled. It's going to suck.
Well, that's something else as well. Consoles and the way they're dying, because the console industry, as we've seen from sales history, ever since the PlayStation 2, consoles have, technically speaking, if we look at the figures rather than the market, consoles have been dying. If GTA 6 did release on PC, hypothetically, if it did happen, people obviously wouldn't go out and buy a console, but people are more likely to go out and buy a PC because the experience is going to be better. Now, we know it won't be the case because designing a game for an Xbox series of codecs and a PlayStation series of codecs, and that's just two things that Rockstar need to focus on. Doing it for 100 different variables of hardware and software for a gaming PC is obviously a much bigger task.
It's a nightmare.
And the only people that really benefit from it releasing on consoles is the console manufacturers, because the consumers don't benefit because most people, I mean, I'm still using a PS4 Pro, but most people have a PS5 or an Xbox One or a PC. Most people fall into that category at the moment. So the only people that really do benefit from it coming out on the PS5 and the Xbox are the console manufacturers, no one else.
Yeah, and I would argue that's exactly why PlayStation is trying to make the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Right? Because they know that there is going to be a market of people who no longer play on console, but will want to play GTA 6 on release. And especially if you're advertising it like they are now, where it's like, this will be the best place to play GTA 6, that's going to get a lot of people to start buying their consoles. And that's probably exactly what Rockstar and Sony want. They want people to almost cave in and switch from being a PC player to console for a bit before GTA 6 comes out on PC, and then they buy it again. So Rockstar gets 2 sales and Sony gets a PlayStation 5 sale. It seems like a win-win for both sides. So
it's a win-win situation. You're right. A win-win situation for both sides, and the Pro is going to be developed for GTA 6. It's going to sell like hotcakes. Obviously, we're most likely going to be seeing a bundle anyway, similar to what happened with GTA 5. You remember that was bundled with the PS3, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. So they're definitely going to be doing that, for sure.
Yeah, no, I think another thing to note there as well is that like Jetro, what you just mentioned there about, I mean, I said the only people that are going to benefit the console manufacturers, but yeah, no, I'm wrong. Like, Rockstar will benefit as well because, you know, I bought the game on the PS3, the PS4, the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One. I bought it on PC when I used to have a PC.
So many.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then on top of that,
yeah, I've bought it 3 times for sure.
Yeah, so
I bought it probably numerous amount of times.
So like that's like something that I to be honest, I let slip my mind and I should have considered. But it's a very, very, very interesting point that like we're not talking about the lifespan of consoles. We're talking about lifespan of the game, which outlives the lifespan of the consoles. Like it's a bigger time span. Like console generations, and we've seen so many since 2013. But I think that's going to change though. Like, I mean, I don't think we're good. I think we'll get a PlayStation 6. I think we'll get the PS5 Pro, PlayStation 6, and obviously Xbox were working on a console for 2028, but they've fast tracked it to 2026 now, I think. But after that, I don't think we're going to be seeing consoles every 4 or 5 years. I think we're going to be probably a bit longer because also, and this is a hot take, oh my god, I'm gonna get rinsed for this, but the development of consoles and the improvements in hardware on consoles is slowing down. The difference between the PS3 and PS4 was huge. The difference between PS4 and PS5 was, well, PS4 Pro and PS5 wasn't massive, but PS4 and PS5 in general was quite big. PC gaming has just gone to a whole different level now. So like, would people rather buy a gaming PC that will last, like maybe something like an RTX 4090 that will see them through the next 5 years of all the good releases we're going to get, or would they rather buy a console that in 2 years, 3 years is going to be outdated? And I feel like people would probably happily pay more for a PC. Like me personally anyway, I've been a console user, an iPhone user, a Mac user my whole life, but even I can be swayed by the impressiveness of PC gaming. So
well, and on top of that, like you say about, you know, PlayStation hardware like slowing down on its development over time, PC is becoming more and more accessible. So like you can buy a PC now for still more than a console, but when you think about everything else it does comparatively to a console, like $1,500 and you have a way better PC than your console hardware, and it will last you for way longer.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a big reason why PC has been taking off a lot.
And also as well, like this is me harping back to my Xbox days, but when my Xbox broke, I had to get rid of my Xbox. But when your PC breaks, your PC doesn't break, your GPU breaks, your CPU breaks, a component breaks, and you can just replace it. And you know, you can be using a CPU that's 10 years old, and you can just switch out a graphics card and have incredible performance. And that modularity is not only consumer friendly and consumer focused, because for example, if your graphics card breaks in your PlayStation or your Xbox, you've got to go and do a degree in computer science to solder it, reweld it, and all of that stuff. Like you're dealing with a whole different set of like issues. And this is like one of the reasons why people are moving away from iPhone now. Like I'm still an iPhone user, but I've been an iPhone user since 2012. but my next phone won't be an iPhone because I'm now starting to see that, like, why should I pay $800 for a new screen? Why is that a thing?
Not wrong.
And the same thing applies to like the PC industry. Like, you can go out and you can buy hardware at your will, and a new game comes out, and yes, you might have to spend an extra $300 on a component for your PC to play it, but if you decide to start streaming, you just buy a capture card for your console, for your computer.
Yeah, that's right.
And more people are getting into these creative things now. Like, I reckon, you know, we can talk about the billions of dollars that GTA 6 is going to make, but we can talk about the hundreds of billions of dollars it's going to make for people that stream, create content around it. The whole ecosystem that's going to be born off the back of GTA 6 is a multi-billion-dollar gaming industry, whether it be for consoles, PCs, capture cards, and everything. I mean, this is getting completely sidetracked now, and I'm on a waffle, but like...
Yeah, no. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong, though.
Before we jump on to the next topic in this podcast, we are proud to announce the launch of Vice Clothing. This is something that myself and Project Vice have put together, which is an awesome way that we can do merch for you guys, but also have some fun making some designs. So the site is now live. All the links are down below. Without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Did Rockstar purposely release the 2022 leaks?
For clarification, I don't believe that this is the case at all. I don't think any of us do, but this is a theory I have had pop up on my videos so much. Like, there is a lot of people out there that tend to believe that Rockstar did intentionally release not only the 2022 leaks, but also the TikTok leak as well, with Aaron Garbett, who we know is the co-studio.
I see that as well. My comment section's full of it, and to be honest, I don't really know how to address it, because like, there is no source, there's nothing.
No. It's purely speculation, but I at least thought it would be fun. Like, I kind of wanted to play devil's advocate, and I was thinking, like, okay, if this was the case, what does Rockstar gain from this? Well, from what I can tell, unless you're a die-hard GTA 6 fan, most people probably didn't even watch them. I think that obviously there's a good amount of people that did, but when I ask a lot of my friends who, you know, obviously are hyped for GTA 6, but not quite in the same, you know, YouTuber space, watching videos about it, whatnot. But they don't want to see it, right? They don't want to get the game spoiled. They don't want to know what it looks like. So while it did make a lot of headlines, and obviously we know that the guy was arrested and definitely sentenced to a hospital stay, but
I just think that's a mad sentence, isn't it? Like,
it is true, but he was.
He was.
I'm not wrong. He was arrested for it.
He wasn't. He was. Yeah.
But I just think I just can't think of what Rockstar gains from it. Like, they gain the publicity, but I'd argue GTA 6 was going to do that anyway. Yeah. So I really, it's a fun topic, but I just think there's absolutely no way Rockstar, who's one of the most secretive game companies, would purposely release 50 minutes of unreleased development footage when there's no monetary gain. Like, there was no money that they made from it, and I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they lost like $5 million or something for the
they were
paying
affected.
of takedowns and
dramatically
stuff like
by it. Yeah, that's right. They were affected dramatically by it, for sure. I think it was like Strauss Zelnick. I'm pretty sure he said that they were affected, but I don't know the exact amount. But they were just affected. I don't know. Did he say emotionally or financially? I forget exactly the correct wording of what he stated.
It was long-term value damage, I think he classified it as.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, whatever that.
But like, no, I'm fully with you on this as well. It's like, even as a GTA YouTuber, as we all are, like, I kind of wish that I hadn't seen the leaks. At the same time, yes, I've got content out of it and all of this, but I can understand from Rockstar's point of view about the damage, because what this means is you know, there's a very real chance that what we saw in those leaks won't even be in the game. Like, half the things maybe 100%. We did see, like,
probably cut content.
Exactly. I mean, there's loads of cut content from GTA 5, and what it's done is, and I've only just realized this over the past like month or so as maturing with YouTube, I'd say a large portion of my comments is people saying that something's definitely going to be in the game because of something that was in the leaks, and I'm like, yeah, that's a reason to believe it could be, but it doesn't mean it is. Imagine if someone hacked into your computer and got hold of your raw footage for a video. It would be dog shit. Like, I know my raw footage is. Like,
no, 100%.
Like, I've had to like cut out segments of my video. I'm sneezing and picking my nose, whatever it is. Like, it's not finished. It's not polished. And the hour-long video that I turn into a 9-minute video on YouTube is completely vastly different from what people get in the end. This is where I can kind of understand from Rockstar's perspective I can understand the damage it's caused. I don't think that Rockstar would gain anything from the leaks. Like, so a good this isn't the perfect measure of search traffic, but if you look on Google, you can see search traffic results for like how many people search for a particular thing. When those leaks came out, there was only a spike of like 100,000 searches for people searching for the leaks. Like, it didn't give them a lot of publicity. It gave them a lot of publicity with the people that were already starkly interested, but to the general people out there, it didn't affect like their opinion or output of the game. It was just interesting. The only thing is, the only way it negatively affected them is because the game, like, for all intents and purposes and pre-development, looked a bit crap. But all games do. All of the publicity we were seeing were people saying how bad it looks. No one was saying how, I'm excited for this. So yeah, I think that there's zero merit to the fact that they do it themselves, but also, they wouldn't put a kid in a mental asylum for a good bit of PR. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not saints. I know Rockstar aren't saints, and they've never been saints. They've got a turbulent history, but oh my god, they're not going to put a kid in a mental asylum or a mental hospital or a mental institution for good PR. Like, we know how corporate they are as a business. You know what I always say, there's no such thing as bad publicity, but oh my god, there is, because that isn't good.
That was about the worst publicity they could have gotten. Like, especially I recently covered this in my leak video, and he literally did it with like a cell phone, TV in a hotel room,
it was
and
an
Amazon Fire Stick.
It
was an Amazon Fire Stick.
And he gained 50 minutes of some of the most secretive footage from gaming. Like,
imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing that though. The first time you get into the system, he goes, "Oh my god, I got all of it." And he's like the first person to actually see it as well.
Do you know what I want to imagine? I want to imagine Rockstar finding out he hacked us with what?
It's just Strauss Zelnick looking at the table of directors, and he's just like, he did what?
Imagine that. He did what? How did we let this happen, you guys? You idiots.
I can guarantee that Rockstar's more secure, more secure than any government ever. And I mean, like, it.
More than Area 51.
Yeah, literally. Like, the fact is, it's probably easier to get into Area 51 than it is to get into like Rockstar servers. But like,
literally.
This kind of like ties into the final point. So, is Rockstar their own worst enemy? Is the reason they're popular why they keep getting leaked? And obviously, Jetro, this is one of your points, but I'd like to just open up on it a little bit there with.
Yeah, of course.
Like, the fact that they are so secretive, I feel like, does make them a target, because at the end of the day, right, put it this way, if I did a video about the financial report for Bethesda or Naughty Dog Games, no one would care because it is just not interesting. Like, it would get maybe 100 views, and they're just the people that will come to my videos anyway. No one would watch it. But the fact that I did a video talking about the financial interests of Take-Two Interactive, and it got 30,000 views in 24 hours. And that tells you that anything that goes behind the veil, it's like documentaries about North Korea. They're interesting because it's not accessible. It's
true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it's secret.
Exactly.
No one knows what's going on.
What we don't know is more interesting than what we can access. The fact is, if I can Google something, and I think this applies to all of our videos, if we can Google something and get the exact answer, our videos would become irrelevant. But the fact is when we make videos, we do a bit of research,
Correct.
We weigh in our opinions and thoughts, because we spend hours geeking out over Rockstar stuff, and that's why people view our content. But I feel like for Rockstar being their own worst enemy, I do believe that is the case, but at the same time, like, what is the alternative? Because there isn't one.
And I would even go as far to say that it's not even about, I know I was the one that put it, but I wouldn't even more so say it's about how popular they are, but more importantly about how long they take.
Yeah.
Because, right, you think about something like the let's say Call of Duty franchise, right? Like a new game every year. So you can go spoiler free, and you know that probably from the day this COD launches in a year, there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
For GTA, it's like this will be 12 years. And so not only does that make everyone way more hyped to want to see more info, but it's also like comparatively to COD, it's 11 more years that you have for stuff to be leaked, which is it's more of a question of when rather than if for leaks and
yeah, good point.
Kind of ties back into a question that I get on my channel, like, oh, what are you gonna make videos about if there's no more leaks? And I'm like, there will be, and people have commented back to that going, how do you know? And I'm like, because there just is. It's impossible to employ 6,000 people and Rockstar to be at the peak of their public interest and not have some form of leak. Now, I think at the moment we are definitely in a dead zone for news for the past week.
For sure.
But that being said, we've still had Tom Henderson come out and make some statements about some Kotaku reports. We've had Jason Schreier posting an investment report. If we can have 2 bits of really big and like nice information in 1 week, like, and that's a quiet week, like a busy week is outstanding.
Look, I think the thing is, when you've got a game that's so securely, it's been so long since obviously GTA 5 released till now, and it's still, GTA 6 is still not even out. It's such a long gap in between. You just feel like it's just expected for leaks to just sort of surface. Like you said, there's about 6,000 employees working on this game. That's so many.
Mental.
So I'd say that it's more than likely stuff's going to get out to some degree. And I think the thing is, in terms of Rockstar becoming their own worst enemy, and the reason why they're why stuff keeps getting leaked out. Obviously, we're in a dry spell at the moment, but I think up until the game's release, that's going to come out next year, we're definitely going to be seeing probably more that's going to be coming out leak related. Obviously, they're tightening the security a bit more so now with next month actually, that they're in a few days they're going to be, all the staff's going to be coming back to the office Monday to Friday, and perhaps maybe won't see as much, but I still think more will probably come out. But yeah, that's obviously unofficially.
I think as well, because the return to office mandate starts on I believe it's the 1st of April. It's either the 1st or the first couple of days of April.
Yeah, it's a few days.
A lot of people have resigned from Rockstar.
Oh wow.
When I say a lot of people, I mean I think in total it's about 50, 60 people, which, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of 6,000 employees. All it takes is 50, 60 people to either quit, get fired, or take voluntary redundancy, not be happy with their agreement to start leaking stuff. And obviously that's all going to come into effect from the 1st of April for the following weeks, months that may follow that. So I think we're about to get into either a period that's going to be either really dry because Rockstar's more secure, or extremely wet with news because of all of this turmoil. I think if there is a period where we're going to be expecting the most amount of leaks, it's going to be in the next couple of months.
Agreed.
I mean, I think we all agree that there's probably going to be at least some new leaks. How much and if it's relevant, we'll wait to see. But do you guys think there's going to be a bunch of small leaks, or do you think there's a possibility we still get another, maybe not the same size as the 2022 leaks, but large in nature leak?
I think probably small scale. I don't think it's going to be anything large that it was in September 22. I mean, if it is, unless when it's closer to the release of the game. I mean, if it's like a Last of Us, The Last of Us Part 2, when the story leaks came out very close to the launch, that could be pretty worrying. Because I mean, if the story does get out, and it may happen that it might get leaked out a few weeks before, probably, because that's when a lot of the some companies and that they have the review copies and they have to do certain reviews, this and that. So maybe it may get leaked out before then, but it's hard to say. But
I don't know if you guys know this, but for GTA 5, actually, I think it was 3 weeks or so before the game released, every piece of dialogue was leaked for the game.
Yeah.
Literally the entire story, all the radio stations. So there is a possibility for another massive leak to come, but whether it does or not is unknown.
A little thing I want to touch on there is so obviously the hack that happened in 2022, that wasn't really a hack, it was more of a social engineering hack. It was convincing someone to reset their password on the Slack messaging platform, which is just a basic phishing scam. And what I have noticed, I went back a few days ago just to actually have a look at all of the news at the time of that. A lot of the hacking community condemned the hack because it wasn't to expose a business or corporation or a company for bad behavior. It was just to gain access to someone's intellectual property. So a lot of the hacking community actually didn't condone on it. I am 1,000,000% sure that there are at least 1,000 hackers right now that with a couple of clicks of a button could gain access into Rockstar, but they're probably just choosing not to for legal issues. Obviously, it's a nightmare to deal with. Secondly, mutual respect. And this is something that's very weird about Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is a game that's loved by so many people from all different walks of life. I feel like the only reason a hacker would want to hack into like Rockstar servers now would be primarily for ransom, secondarily to play the game early, thirdly to expose some leaks and get some internet clout. But if they did do that, they'd end up in jail. There's a whole load of people out there that have the capability to do it, but just don't really want to. We all have a mutual respect for Rockstar.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
So guys, thank you so much for watching episode 3 of the Cybervice podcast. Of course, as I mentioned in the ad segment in the middle of the video, you can go and check out the Vice clothing merchandise all down below. The store is now live to go and cop yourself some t-shirts, hoodies, whatever you want to get, and drop a comment down below with who else you'd like to see in the podcast and whether we should get Jetro back again. Now, I know you guys don't like him. We don't like him either. He's a knob. But and also, the most important thing that you can do to help us out, guys, is you can go over to Jetro's channel right now and hit subscribe. Make sure you go and do that.
Go sub to him, man. Awesome. Go sub to him. Yes.
And if you don't sub to him, I will tell your mum. So just go and do it, guys. And thank you all for watching this video, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Later.
Catch you later, guys.